proper nouns can be used anywhere in any subject. Even in the very easy subject in the kindergarten, we are using the proper nouns. In the 8 subjects that we have, the 7 subjects that we have, we are using proper nouns. This time, in our new lesson, we will also be using the proper nouns. Now, can you still remember the story of Cinderella?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a fantasy lesson?
Fantasy, ma'am. She married a prince.
Okay, very good. Was it a nice story?
Yes, ma'am. An inspiring story. Love story.
Okay. We consider this Cinderella story as a narrative. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am. Because you're telling a story.
Yes, because when we say narrative, that is narrating, di ba? We narrate, and we also have these narratives. Another example of a narrative is an essay. And some of the articles in the newspaper, in some columns there, or even in the technology section, even in the editorial section, we have the narratives.
Yes, ma'am.
And we also use the proper nouns there as we go back to our lesson. Now this morning, we are going to learn how to evaluate narratives. Now when we say evaluate, we have to come to think of it. What is in that narrative? What is in that story, or what is in that article? Because it is not good that we will just read and read and read and we do not understand about it. Evaluating a narrative makes us understand what is the inner thought of that story or that essay. Now, if our new lesson for this morning is evaluate narratives based on how the author developed the elements. Now, let us come to remember that narratives, as it is being written or as it is being proposed by the authors, have elements. And we have few elements that we are going to take this up today. Let us identify the proper noun in the following sentences first. Number 1, Christine, read that one.
Ryan went to the market.
Now, what is the proper noun in the
Proper
sentence?
noun in the sentence is Ryan.
Very good. How about this?
The latest iPhones were missing, and the proper noun is iPhones.
Okay. All these proper nouns is going into a narrative. We can even have these 5 sentences into one narrative as itself. If we are going to compile this, add some words in it, we can form a narrative. Now, there are important elements of the narrative which were present already with those sentences there. As I have said, we have the character and the setting. Now, by the way, what is in a setting? Can you still remember your lesson when you were still in grade 5?
In the setting, ma'am, it is where the story happened or the geographic location of the story.
Right to say whether you're correct? Yes. When we say setting of a narrative or a story, it refers to the geographic location. Say, for example, in the story of Cinderella. In the story of Cinderella, if you can still remember, the setting is in their fantasy home.
Yes, the
Their
palace.
home. Yes, in the palace. Or if we will say that the flood of Iligan that happens the other 2 days, no? The setting there
Was
is
in Corbada.
was in Iligan City actually. But if we will specify, there were different areas. We have in Corbada, we have in Tubod, we have in Suarez, no? We have plenty of settings. And the scene also, what was the scene? Flood.
Yes.
Flood. So that was a setting. Now, if we will also go back to the Marawi Seas.
Yes.
So the setting there is Marawi City. Diba? The ground zero. And what was the scene? What happened there? No? So that is one element of a narrative. All of us, if we are going to write a story or a narrative or just a simple essay in our science during our experiments, in our AP, if we are going to have a news out of what is happening, in our Filipino, if we're going to write what's this? What we call that in Filipino, that is say. And in our mathematics, you can
Talata,
even,
ma'am?
oh yes,
Talata.
talata. In our mathematics, you can even write a narrative, a short narrative. Yes. So we always use these different elements of a narrative in the different subjects that we have. Another element of the narrative, we also have the time. For the setting, we also have the time. Long ago in the past, there was a young girl named Cinderella. So what is the time there?
Long ago, ma'am.
Long ago.
Lukay na.
And we already have the character Cinderella.
Yes.
Okay, place. Cinderella's home is in a faraway
Kingdom.
The second element is the character. Read it, Christine.
Character refers to the persons or animals around which the story revolves.
Yes, it refers to the persons. And characters, for characters, we do not say that persons only. We can also have the animals. Or we can have other animations, especially in this time. We use animations. For example, we have the story of the lion and the mouse. We have the setting there and we have the characters. The setting is in the forest. And who are the characters? The lion and the mouse. So these two elements are very important in anything that we do. Even if we will make reports, we still have the characters, we still have the time, we still have the setting. No, because the time is in the setting of the thing. Now, as we go on, if we are going to read a narrative, it is very important that we are going to read it thoroughly. That we should know who are the characters, what are they doing, where does it happen, and when does it happen. Because that is the only way that we will understand the narrative that we are reading. Because if we just read it without examining the elements of it, we will not understand really the narrative. Now, there are some traits of the characters in a story which are shown in various ways. Now, we have to examine the traits of the characters in a narrative. Okay, for example, through the author's use of descriptive words about the character. So that's one way of examining. Example of this one is Ryan is playful and outspoken. We have there Ryan, the main character. And how do you identify Ryan there?
The traits of Ryan is playful and outspoken.
Yes, so you will understand now. You will start to understand about the story because of the character that Ryan is playful and outspoken. So those are only some ideas on how you are going to observe the characters and the setting of the story. And those are the guides that we will be having in evaluating the narratives. Actually, when we evaluate narratives, we only use our own opinion. Everything that we say about the narrative is only our opinion. Now, what is really an opinion?
The opinion is an explanation or judgment about the story or narratives on what you have read, but this is not necessarily based on fact or knowledge.
Yes. An opinion is simply our very own explanation or judgment about what we have read. But it doesn't mean that that is already a fact. We are only giving our opinion. But an opinion is different from a fact. We base our opinion on our own thinking.
Our own perception.
Yes, our own perception. We do not really dig on the facts that we have from the reading that we get. So, it's not actually based on the facts or knowledge, but it is only our very own opinion. Just like when we say Cinderella was very beautiful and she's very kind. We do not know whether she's really very kind.
Yeah.
We do not know whether she's really very beautiful. It was only a story. questions, how and why. These are the two basic questions that we answer when we give out our opinion about the narratives that we read. But for the new stories that we have, because those are also narratives, we cannot give our opinion because those are already facts. Okay. The story behind the let us practice. Let us practice. Read and evaluate. Read it, Christine.
As the sun set in the evening sky, Ryan slowly turned and walked his way home. All was silent and still. Through the window, he could see her older sister Bella watching a Korean movie on the television. Bella came home from the city where she is currently studying. Though it was lonely at times for Ryan being alone in their home, seeing Bella once a month makes him happy.
So, based on that story,
Why?
the setting we have
Ryan
and Bella's
home.
Oh, who are the characters?
Ryan and Bella.
Okay. So, those are the two main elements of the narrative that we read. The setting, Ryan and Bella's home, and the characters, Ryan and Bella. Now, why do you think, from that narrative that we read, why do you think Ryan is lonely at times?
I think Ryan is lonely at times because he only see Bella once a month.
Oh, in our ESP, we always have that closeness among the close ties among the family members. Now, we always have that feeling of loneliness if somebody from our family is far from us. This is also true to the narrative that we have read this time. This one. We always say that in evaluating the narrative, we use our opinion. So, from the whole topic that we took up, can you say something on how to evaluate narratives based on the author-developed elements?
To evaluate through our own opinion, on how and why how the story evolved and why the characters.
Okay, very good, Christine. Now, when we are going to evaluate a narrative based on the two elements only, we will just simply give out our opinion by answering only two questions. We only have to answer them. How and why. And these two questions that we answer, as we say, as our opinion is not based on facts. It is only our opinion. That is how to evaluate the narratives that we read. Because if you are going to evaluate narratives, you only set your opinion, you think about the setting, you think about the characters. Give your answers to the question